My section of the unit was standing on the balcony in the armoury at the time of the explosion, about 15 feet above the ground. At first there was a low rumble, like distant shooting, and we looked at each other and said, "What's that?" Then it was immediately followed by a terrific roar. Among the rest of the damage, the roof fell in. In many different places, the steel girders were twisted up and snapped in two. The windows, every solitary one, and the frames too, 30 feet long, were torn out and thrown onto the middle of the floor, where the men were doing PT, killing a few of them outright and wounding many of the others. We were all covered with dust and pieces of glass. It all happened as quick as the crack of a gun. First we thought it was an air raid and made a rush for the underground rooms, but as no other roar came, we changed our minds and dashed out into the street. As soon as we got out of our trap, we saw a great pyramid of smoke, steam, water, and flames rising up into the sky, for thousands of feet, I should think. It was no time for stargazing. It was at once conceivable by the appearance of the paneless windows of every building, many being roofless and sideless and otherwise demolished, and the bloody sights who were trying to pick themselves together again, that there was grim work to be done. A first-line trench after a battle could bear no comparison to the sights I've seen in the past 3 days, in the streets and hospitals. I nearly choked with lumps in my throat several times trying to keep back emotion. I shall never forget Halifax to my dying day, no matter how I might try. I've had all kinds of duties since the crash came, including all-night guard duty around the ruins and at one of the morgues, soaking wet all the time after swimming through snow, slush nearly knee-deep. I also had quite a long stretch of hospital orderly duty. I was in an eye ward for the most part, with about 100 beds, and nearly all of the patients had one or both eyes out, besides other injuries. There will be many hundreds of blind people in Halifax now. Many of the patients gave me their stories. One elderly man lost his house worth $5,000, along with his leg. He had 2 daughters in the ward. Both lost an eye, and one sustained head wounds, the other a fracture. Both were dangerous cases. His wife and another daughter were in a different ward, and 3 more daughters just got out of hospital the previous day. He also lost a good horse and rig. There are thousands of cases just as bad as this one, or worse. Normally at night, the streets are all shaded on the harbor side and blinds are drawn, but now there's no light from the store windows at all as they're all boarded up. Only when a door opens do we get a streak of light across the pavement. This makes it necessary for a stranger to carry a pocket flashlight, and indeed they're quite common. I don't know when we shall get away from here. Very likely not before the middle of January, but I don't care how soon. There's no doubt that we've seen active service here all right.